Okay, in this last installment of the orientation lectures, we want to talk about how I assign grades for the course, talk about makeup exams, other details about the course. So, grades going to be assigned uh, based upon two classes of assignments. They're going to be these 13 beach board quizzes, and total, all these quizzes will be 60% of your course grade. All the quizzes will include true, false, multiple choice, and multiple select questions. They'll be graded immediately, graded entered into the grade book. You'll be given feedback on your performance, 3 this week, 2 each week after that, a total of 60% of your course grade. The other 40% of your course grade is going to be based on 5 short answer questions that you'll write approximately 1-page responses to, starting on week 2 and going every week until the end of the term, and those will count for 40% of your overall course grade. Right? So 5 short answer assignments, each about a page long, formatted using one of the major formatting styles, bibliography listing all the sources you consulted in writing your answer at the end, proper citations for quotations. They're well organized, they're concise, they're self-contained, and so on. So you should complete the reading assignments and the lectures prior to taking any of the quizzes. Right? So just follow the order that's given to you each week. And the last assignment for each of the weeks will be writing that short answer question. I'll post the short answer questions, or I'll send them out by 11 a.m. on Thursday. And that'll give you about a day and a half to write your answers and to submit them to a Dropbox on Beachboard. And once you submit them, right, you can look at the Turnitin report, you can think about it, revise them. The final submission I get by that deadline will be the answer that I grade, and then when I grade those, and I'll try and grade them within a day or two, I'll enter the grades into Beachboard and I'll send you back a graded copy of your exam. So each of those short answers should shoot for about 1 page in length, and I'm going to grade them on their accuracy, how accurate they are in reporting the details of a particular question, their clarity, how clear they are in their exposition, their organization. I'll take off points if you don't format them properly, and so on. All right. Beachboard quizzes, same story. I'll post those Tuesday, 11 a.m. You'll take those quizzes, grade it, enter it into the gradebook. You get feedback. You need to have all the quizzes completed by 8 p.m. on Friday. And there'll be these 2 extra credit assignments that you can do during the course of our very abbreviated term that will give you points added to the raw score of your Beachboard quizzes. As far as withdrawal goes, I follow the university policy on withdrawals, and I have no qualms about letting students withdraw from the course even when it comes time for my signature to be required in order for them to withdraw. My reasoning is I want students to get the most out of the classes that they take, to be able to perform the best they possibly can perform for those classes. And so if a student accidentally or overly optimistically takes too many classes, makes too many commitments, they're working too much to try and pay for school and so on, and they find themselves overwhelmed or unprepared or otherwise unable to do the best job that they can to get the most out of the class that they can possibly get out of it, then I encourage them to recognize that as early as possible and to make those smart decisions, right? To withdraw when they think there's no other way for them to adapt to properly complete the class in the way that they'd like to complete it. Makeup exams shouldn't be a problem since this is an online course with all the assignments due at the very end of the week. There's a lot of flexibility for when you go about doing your assignments. If makeups become an issue, if someone gets in an automobile accident at Friday at 3 in the afternoon, contact me. Email is much better than phone because I probably won't be in my office that much, but contact me. We'll make arrangements. I try to be flexible and accommodating to students. As I say, I don't think this will be a big issue. This class because it is an online class. Cheating and plagiarism. Well, I follow the CSULB policy on cheating and plagiarism. The policy is linked here, at least one version of it is linked in our catalog. So if you're not clear what counts as cheating or what counts as plagiarism under our policy, or you're not sure what counts as cheating or plagiarism generally, you just want to know what the policy is, you can click on that link, you can go to the page, you can read the policy, and you're responsible for making sure that you understand the policy and that you adhere to the policy as a student. As an instructor, I'm responsible for enforcing the policy. So if I have good reason to suppose that you've cheated on an exam or that you committed plagiarism, right, then I have an obligation to contact you, to tell you what I think, to provide appropriate remedy. Right? And my remedies include remedies like making you rewrite a paper, or failing you for an assignment, or failing you for the entire course. There's a fair amount of latitude, but of course, I try to be as fair-minded and evidence-based as possible when and if these situations ever occur. And I try to do my best to help students realize that this is a severe problem and that they can't do this and expect to get through university, or for that matter, through life. So I have my remedies and my responsibilities. One of my responsibilities is also to report any cases of suspected or confirmed cheating and plagiarism to the Office of Judicial Affairs. And they will, at the university level, review your case and determine their appropriate remedies. They may do nothing. They could put you on probation, suspension. They could even expel you, and so on. So it's a serious thing. Statistically speaking, a fairly large percentage of students cheat and plagiarize. So statistically speaking, it's probably going to happen in this class. I personally haven't noticed a problem with this in my classes, though it does occur, unfortunately. So make sure that you understand the policy, that you adhere to the policy, that there's never a problem that's going to require me to take action with regard to cheating and plagiarism. If you have a learning disability, right, for instance, I have dyslexia, right, then I'm happy to accommodate you with any of the appropriate remedies given your disability. Now, if you're a CSULB student, if you haven't already, I encourage you to go to the Office of Disabled Student Services. They will evaluate you to determine if you have any learning disabilities, to document those learning disabilities, and then going forward for the rest of your university career, they will facilitate making your professors aware of those disabilities and negotiating the appropriate remedies so that you can perform well in the class and accommodate that disability without affecting your performance in an unfair fashion. So I encourage students who are CSU students to get that in place if they haven't already. If you have, or if you're a student from another university taking this class and you have a disability, contact me and I'll work with you to try and accommodate that disability. Make sure it's not an impediment or a discriminatory factor in your learning experience in my class at this university. Finally, I want to talk about the goals that I have for this course, and I'll try and be fairly brief so I don't go over that 15-minute limit for this third and final component of the evaluation, or orientation lecture. So I have 5 basic goals. First of all, I'm hoping that students will show a marked improvement in their ability to read and evaluate relatively complex and abstract material. So I want you to improve your reading comprehension and retention skills. And I'm hoping that when students complete this course, if they're not already in the position where they are able to read complex and abstract material with sufficient understanding to articulate theses, arguments, paper structure, and so on, then as a result of this course, as a result of the exercises and the readings that we have, you'll develop those skills and be able to exercise them and refine them during this course. And those are skills that are going to transfer to other courses and to your life generally. So they're very important to develop from my perspective as a teacher, from you as a student as well. So students, I hope, will also show a marked improvement in their ability to articulate and evaluate arguments and theses, and their ability to recognize both the logical and the evidential merit of arguments and theses. So our ability to give reasons, to evaluate reasons, to uh, engage in constructive dialogue with other people about substantive issues is an important skill. It's a skill you need in school. It's a skill you need in life. The better you are at it, the better your life will be, basically. And so I'm hoping that students, as a result of this class, will show an improvement both in their written and also in their verbal abilities in this regard. Now, we don't have a lot of verbal interaction in an online course, but in my experience, students who work on their writing, who get better at articulating their beliefs and giving reasons, arguments for their beliefs, at articulating other people's beliefs, criticizing those beliefs on evidential or logical bases, they become better at that verbally as well. They become more verbally fluent. Their thoughts become better organized as a result of the work that they do in their written assignments. So I'm hoping that there's both improvement in written and in verbal responses, even though strictly speaking, you'll only be looking at your written response. The third thing, the third goal that is that I hope that students will demonstrate a significant increase in their knowledge of the major ethical questions, theories, and theoreticians that they get exposed to in this course. So the content of this course is ethics. And so by the end of this course, I hope that you have a relatively broad, somewhat deep knowledge base about ethics. You know about major ethical questions, you know about major ethical theories, you've been exposed to major ethical theorists. It's also desirable from my perspective that you have a broader historical context in which to place these questions, theories, and theoreticians, so that it helps you to understand why it is that a theoretician came to hold the view that they do, why it is that society or civilization has evolved in the ways that it's evolved, the sorts of ethical challenges that occurred, when, and why. And I think that this will help you to satisfy this fourth goal, to start to develop a grasp of the practical implications and recognize the real-world instances of ethical questions, be able to understand those questions in light of ethical theories, to develop a sense of the potential impact of ethical theories on your life, your conception of yourself, and your conception of your place in society, as well as your conception of the evolution of society. So students finally, hopefully, will improve their writing abilities, particularly with respect to their ability to write concise, highly organized, and self-contained statements of positions and arguments for those positions. So with any luck at all, you'll learn the content of this course. You'll learn, refine, and improve associated skills that transfer to real life. Both the content and the skills are going to make for a better life for you. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so enthusiastic about teaching intro courses like this and like critical thinking at this university. So the next lectures will be content lectures on arguments.